I have had a dream. I had a dream that, and it's hard for me to even say this stuff. I don't even know how to feel. I got a headache right now. I had a dream that America was in a great deal of trouble. It seemed like it was some sort of judgment. And all of the countries was surrounding America, every last one. And they all had their nuclear missiles pointed at America. And everybody was just standing there staring at the missiles. Like the missiles were so close, getting ready to, hit us. And the people was like trembling, like in fear. They didn't know what to do, so they just stood there. The two countries that was leading all the other countries was China and Russia. And then they made a point to all the other countries that told them to shoot off their missiles. So all the missiles shot off and everything vanished. Some people survived, but majority of the population died. Now this is the dream that I had. The people that made it, that was still alive, they end up dying by the radiation, the chemicals from the missiles. And the only people that survived were the people that was chosen by the Most High. And they had like some sort of symbol or mark on their foreheads. They were covered. The chemicals, the radiation did not impact them. The impact by the missiles did not impact them. They were totally well and thriving. They were certainly covered. And I woke up. But I've been feeling like this and for several days. I think like a week now. I just want to know if anybody else has been feeling like this. I don't mean to ramble. I truly want to know. I know something's going on. I haven't forgot about CERN and all the things that they're doing with that. But things are changing drastically. And just let me know in the comments.
All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And this video is going to be entitled, He Had a Dream of Nuclear Destruction, or Nuclear Destruction Dream. Response, Nuclear Destruction Dream. And in the beginning, you saw this video, short video of this Jake, which is short for Jacob, meaning Israelite. This Israelite brother had a dream of the nuclear destruction. Now notice he used the words Most High. All right, he used the words Most High in his video. So obviously he knows he's an Israelite, but also notice to you brothers and sisters out there, although he knows he's an Israelite, he had no idea what's going on as far as his dream with the nuclear destruction. So that shows us that he was from some congregation who has no idea about the nuclear destruction. He doesn't seem to know a lot. So maybe he's new, or he just, who knows. Anyway, dream was pretty interesting. I just want to kind of get a few scriptures in regards to it. All right, he did mention that he saw nuclear destruction. He mentioned a few things, and I wanted to go into a quick video about it. So first, let's establish that in the Bible, there is a such thing as nuclear destruction. All right, and this is what this individual saw in his dream. We'll just go right to the point. All right, it says a new heaven and a new earth, which the vision that the apostle Peter saw was a vision of nuclear destruction. Now, we know that it's going to happen to America, Babylon the Great, and it's going to come via World War III. Let's go there first, Revelation 16. And I'll try to make this quick and as to the point as I can. All right. As you see the word Armageddon right here. I'm going to go to Revelation 16:15. And it says, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Now, this is figurative language used for what? Those that are in the truth. In a righteous sense, they have on the garments. Okay, they have on the righteous garments. right? Which is the righteousness of the saints. Let's see here. Of the saints. Those that are in the truth in good standing. Salakia. Oh, man. Fine white linen. Just bear with me one moment here. My fingers ain't working too good. Fine white linen. So this is Revelation 19:8. It says, to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. And the saints are who? The Israelites. Also, and it's talking about the Israelites that are in the truth, and those that are of the elect in the truth. A wedding garment. Let's get one more here. All right, so this one is Matthew 22. It says, and when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having on a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Now in this parable, the wedding, right? And let's read verse 13. Then said the king to the servants, bind him hand and foot and take him away and cast him into outer darkness. There should be weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right. So the point is the wedding garment was what? The wedding garment is the righteousness of the saints. This is when you in the truth, you following the truth and you're of the elect. An individual that's got on a spotted garment is somebody that's still, living after the ways of the world, still in sin. Okay, let's read that again. Matthew 22:11. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. And obviously he had on another garment which was spotted. Okay. So going all the way back, Revelation 16, Revelation 16 and verse 15. It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And when the individual is found naked, what is that? You're still in sin. You're still committing iniquity. And really, to be honest, you're not of the elect. The wedding feast is when the Savior is reunited with his bride. His bride is the elect. Only they have on the wedding garment. So if you're found without a garment and you're naked, that means you're not of the elect. Verse 16, and he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. You see, so Armageddon is going to happen. And then let's keep going. Let's jump down to around about verse 18. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake. What's going to cause a great earthquake is nuclear destruction. Such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great. And the great city was divided into three parts, and the nations, Salakia, and the cities of the nations fell. And great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven. That great hail coming out of heaven is the nuclear warheads. Every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed the Most High because of the plague of hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. This plague of hail is a nuclear destruction, nuclear warheads coming down that's going to cause the great earthquake. We go to Revelation 6 and 12. Excuse me. Come on. And Salakia. Moving kind of slow. All right, Revelation 6 and 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. You see that? The same earthquake. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. Now this stars falling out of heaven, right? Like figs falling out of a tree when it's shaken of a mighty wind. These are the nuclear warheads coming out of the heavens. And when they impact, this is what you see. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. So in Revelation 16, it said the mountains were thrown down and the islands were not found. Here it says, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. That's the great tumult or the shaking on the earth that the nuclear destruction is going to cause. And that when the heavens departed as a scroll, Salakia. Yeah, right here. Let's go back again. In Revelation 6, when it says here, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, that is the nuclear mushroom cloud. You see how the missiles, warheads come down, they explode, and the plume of fire in the middle goes up, and then the smoke rolls under itself, and you have wind, fire, radiation, and heat that goes out. That's the heavens being rolled together as a scroll or a nuclear mushroom cloud. That's what is in the scriptures right there. Now I want to go and read 2 Peter 3:10, and it says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. This is the day of the Lord, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. And that's talking about the skies above the earth. The heavens are going to pass away. They're going to burn up with a great noise. What is the noise? This is explosions, nuclear explosions, great noise. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And what are the elements? Everything that's made is made of elements. You have the air is made out of oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, right? You have the water made out of different elements. So it's talking about a great destruction, a great, what's it called? Conflagration. I think that's a word that's often used. It's going to be a great destruction. And this Jake saw it. It says, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So that's the nuclear destruction. Now verse 13 says, nevertheless we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Which brings me to the next part of the video where Jake said that the people, there were some people that was not hurt. Right? He said there was explosions and everything disappeared. But he said there was also people that were marked. Basically, he didn't say it in that word, but he said they had like a mark on their foreheads or something to that effect. He said they were not hurt. Let's see if we can hear that. Hold on.
Did not impact them.
Right here.
They end up dying by the radiation, the chemicals from the missiles. And the only people that survived were the people that was chosen by the Most High. And they had like some sort of symbol or mark on their foreheads. They were covered.
Right. And that mark is not literal, it's figurative. Now, he may have seen a literal mark in the dream, but it's figurative in the scriptures. It means what? It's the same as having on a wedding garment. They have been marked or exempted from judgment. As soon as this thing will load. These people that didn't get destroyed, they were all Israelites, by the way. He didn't mention that. And just notice he has no idea that this is in the Bible. You see? But he knows about the Most High, but he has no idea what he even dreamed. I mean, he knew it was nuclear destruction, but he doesn't understand about the deeper mysteries, which is what a lot of Israelites don't really get. Anyway, that mark that's on their foreheads, that's a mark that exempted them from the judgment to come. This is Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, now the him is the angel that seals the elect. Ezekiel 9:3, and the glory of the God of Israel was going up from the cherub whereupon he was to the threshold of the house, and he called to the man clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by his side. This man was an angel. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And when you go into the Hebrew, the word for mark here is the Hebrew word tawah. And what does it mean? Desire, mark, right here, mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. Now, the judgment is the nuclear destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America. Those that are marked, chosen of the Lord, they are set aside and not destroyed, or they are set aside to be exempted or to be passed over and not destroyed. This is what Jake saw in his dream. He just doesn't really understand it, right? He doesn't really understand what he saw. Anyway, Revelation 7:1 speaks to that as well. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And this wind is the nuclear destruction. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. Now, when you read this Jeremiah 51, sometimes when it says Babylon, it's speaking of old ancient Babylon, and sometimes it's prophesying of in the future, which is mystery Babylon, which we know mystery Babylon is America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so this destroying wind is speaking of in the future, America, Babylon the Great, or mystery Babylon, because ancient Babylon was not destroyed by a wind. So here, the angels are told to hold back that wind. Revelation 7:2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And what is this seal? It's going to be put on the foreheads or in the minds of the chosen elect of the Heavenly Father. Let's go real quick. Those that are not going to be hurt by the judgment that's been exempted. This is Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Not on, in. How is it in their foreheads? It's in their minds. And these men taught it to the rest of the elect. Okay? Now, when you read it in the, let's real quick here. This seal, this is Revelation. I'm sorry. This is the NIV. Then I looked. Hold on. Yeah. And you can actually read the NLT. Then I saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. What names? The name of the Savior and his father. Yahweh is the Most High. Yahweh Shai is his son. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. That is the seal. How do you learn the seal? You learn it through the preaching of the truth. You got the wedding garment. You in the truth. You do the righteousness of the saints given to you by the Lord, and you're of the elect. NIV, then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. So you must know the names. No more arguing, no discussion. You have to know the names. And if you don't, okay. If you say you don't have to know, no problem. We'll see how far you get. That is what was written on the foreheads, which is, it was really figurative. It wasn't literal. You're not going to see the Most High and the Son's name carved in your foreheads. It's in your mind. You know the names. It's in your spirit, right? You know the names of the Father and Son. That's what it is. And we read in Ezekiel that mark is exemption from judgment, but it's just, that was parabolic, figurative. Verse 3 says, let's start back at 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God on their foreheads. And this is why we preach the gospel now, right? Because that time is going to come. Now, when we're reading this in Revelation 11, now what this Jake saw, he just saw the nuclear destruction come and everything was disappeared, right? Everything was destroyed, but the people, right? Some people died from the nuclear destruction itself, others died from the radiation, but the ones that were chosen, which were the ones with the mark, right? The exemption from judgment, they didn't die. But he didn't see them get beamed up. And that's how you get saved from being destroyed. You get beamed up. Revelation 11 and 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. We just went over this last night. The cloud is a chariot. And their enemies beheld them. All those that are not the elect are going to see the elect get beamed up. Then what happened? And the same hour, soon as they went up into the chariots, in the same hour was there a great earthquake. Now we read about the great earthquake in Revelation 16 and in Revelation 6, which is the nuclear destruction. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. The 10th part of the city is the FEMA zones 1 through 10, which America is divided up into. If you don't believe it, go to a FEMA map, and there are 10 FEMA regions divided up the way America is divided up into 10 FEMA regions in Roman numerals. You don't believe me? Look it up. That's what it's speaking of. All 10 FEMA zones were destroyed, and in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000. The 7 here is completion. So everybody in Babylon the Great was destroyed, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the God of heaven. That's when the brother saw those that were chosen, they wasn't even hurt. Nothing happened to them. They didn't get hurt at all. Right? He said I don't know if he used the word prosper, but they was good. And this is what you see when you read here in a couple of verses. Revelation 2 and 11. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. What is the second death? The second death is the nuclear destruction. Revelation 20 and 14. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. The second death is when what? The lake of fire is caught on fire, which America, Babylon the Great is not on fire yet. But when it becomes lit on fire from the nuclear destruction, then it will become the lake of fire. And this is the second death. Now 2 and 11 says, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. What churches? It was the 7 churches of Asia Minor, which today represent the elect of the Israelites. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Who was those that overcame? Those that were marked, exempted from judgment, which were Israelites. When this Jake said he saw the chosen, nothing happened to them. They was perfectly fine. That's what he saw. You see? Revelation 20 and 6 says, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. That's when the Savior comes back. The dead and the anointed shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud. That's the first resurrection. They got beamed up into the chariots. The dead came. They was raised up. They got beamed up into the chariots. See? That's what we read in Revelation 11. And they heard a voice saying, come up hither. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power. What's the second death? The nuclear destruction. The first death was the great flood on the earth. The second great death, the great flood was during Noah's time, Noah's ark. The second great death is what? Or the second death is the nuclear destruction of Babylon the Great. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Anointed, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. You see that? So that's what it is. And that's the elect. Now those that are not the elect, Revelation 21 and 8, but the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So what's the fire and brimstone going to come from? It's going to come out of the nuclear warheads. They're going to set America on fire. It's going to burn. The elect is going to be taken up into the chariots of the Lord, beamed up into the heavens to be saved, because they were marked, exempted from judgment. And the rest of Babylon the Great is going to burn, and all those sinners, non-elect Israelites and other nations, are going to burn in the fire, which is the second death. And that's what Jake saw in his dream. All right, so we'll leave it right there. All praise. And you know what else? I want to read this one too. Jeremiah 50:14, because dude said he saw the nations getting their missiles ready. Jeremiah 50:14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. You see that? So that's all the nations gathering their missiles, getting ready to shoot them on America, Babylon the Great. I also got Revelation 17. Let's go down here to the bottom. Revelation 17:16, it says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. The 10 horns represent what? NATO and the EU. You see, that's part of the Roman Empire, which America is part of it too. But America is that great whore. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. That's the nations gathering their missiles together. For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast. The beast is what? America, it's NATO and the EU, the Roman Empire. The whore that sits on the back and steers that beast is America. And give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. You see? So who reigns over the kings of the earth? America, Babylon the Great. So that's what the brother saw. He saw people getting destroyed in nuclear destruction, but he saw those that were chosen. That was the elect of the Israelites with the mark on them. See you soon, Lord willing. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.